everyone, welcome to another week's video. Today I have something very exciting to share with you. I received a few new colors from Deep Light and I'm so excited to try them. I have videos here on the channel. I have a huge playlist of videos of me swatching all of the Deep Light watercolors. I have them also here in this sheet, which I left a link for also in the description of my swatching videos, in case you need to connect the name with the paint. Since in my original videos I focused on the paints and I didn't have space to add the names at the end, but I am planning on maybe redoing this whole sheet here in a bigger format, since I have a few new colors over here and over here as well. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing me re-swatching the whole collection with names and everything organized. It will be a long video because with the colors that I already own plus the new ones, there will be 110 colors. So even if I speed up some part of the video, it will still be on the longer side, but I have lots of fun just sitting down and swatching colors. So if you would like that also, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new colors. So there's the new Tuff colors that they released recently. I will put the name of the set here while I'm editing. And in case some of you have not seen my previous videos, I am an ambassador for Deep Light, so they kindly send these colors for me to swatch and share with you, which I'm super grateful for because I love their paints. I was using their paints already before becoming an ambassador, so I was super happy. And yeah, the fact that I'm ambassador also gives you a 15% discount of your entire purchase, no matter the amount. I have my discount code, which is Colored Carol, that I'm gonna leave here on the screen and also in the description below. And if you use this code, as I said, you have 15% off and you can use it multiple times. It never expires. So that's a way for you to try some of these beautiful colors as well. So as I was saying, I have here the Tuff Violet Gray and Tuff Crimson. Then I also have Rose Marrakesh, looks like a beautiful color, Caput Morton, and I have two new colors that they released to replace other colors in their catalog that they found to be a bit unstable. So this one is Midnight Blue, and this was created to replace Mineral Blue, which I have over here. This is Mineral Blue, so I'm gonna be comparing both. So if you have already the Mineral Blue, you can see how similar or different this one is. And the other one is this green called Evergreen, and they told me that they created this one to replace Wagon Green. So I'm also going to be comparing both of them. And yeah, as usual, they send me a few samples, which is really nice. It's very handy to have samples like this when you are traveling. You can just pop this in a pocket, together with your stuff, and off you go. You have different colors that you can use in a very compact format. So that is really nice. I'm going to now unwrap all of these beauties over here, and I'm going to use this sketchbook from SMLT Art. I have purchased this a while ago, I believe while I was in France. I made some swatches here from a previous video, so I feel like using this paper again to see. I think it's a good paper to try watercolor. So I'm going to unwrap my paints, pre-wet them, and then you'll see the colors. I see you soon. I'm back. I have prepared here the swatch sheet. I glued the labels of each of the pens. I left also some space here to swatch the other colors, the previous colors in the catalog, so you can compare. And I thought also I'll be swatching the original Tuff color that I have to see how similar it is to the other two Tuff colors, the Tuff Crimson and the Tuff Violet Gray. So I have here my favorite flat brush that I love using for swatches. I pre-wet my half pens, and now I think I'm gonna zoom in a little so you can see better. So here we are. I hope the light is not too bad. Today is a very cloudy gray sky day here in Dublin, and I hope you will be able to see the colors well. So the first color we'll swatch is Rose Marrakesh. I'm gonna start with the mass tone here and then dilute it to the end. It's a very beautiful type of muted rose. It looks like there's some texture as well. I may swatch the cherry blossom later so you can see also how they compare, since cherry blossom is also a type of muted rose. I really like this one. Let's try and dilute it a bit. It looks very beautiful. Very, very nice. I'm curious to see how it will dry, this one, but so far I'm really liking this. Let's see Tuff Crimson now. There's no surprise, you know, I like all of deep light colors, and I'm not saying this because I'm their ambassador, but their colors are really special to work with. They have some nice textures, and the colors are always very rooted in nature, because that's what they use for inspiration to create their collections. So you cannot go wrong with their curated palettes. And this one is really nice also. This is a more brownish tone. I'm curious to see how it will be comparing to Caput Mortuum, because it kind of reminds me a bit of Caput Mortuum. Caput Mortuum usually is very granulating tone, pigment as well, so we'll see how this one compares. On the pen they look very similar, the tones, but I know that Caput Mortuum is also very opaque, which is definitely the case for this one, so you can see how rich it is at mass tone compared to the Tuff Crimson. Tuff Crimson is more transparent. I would say they are in the same color family, but they have different properties. This one is more powerful, has a bit more punch to it, which can be a good thing or not, depending on what you need. It's a bit more tricky to work with opaque colors, I find. You have to really dose well the water to paint ratio. And this is definitely more granulating than this one. This one has some textures, the Tuff Crimson, but I can see this beautiful granulation already appearing in the Caput Mortuum. Now we have Tuff Violet Gray. I'm very curious about this one. It looks like a beautiful color. I like this type of purplish grays. Yeah, it's a kind of a brown violet type of tone, even though it's called gray. I guess you could say this is a warm type of gray, and has also some texture. Really beautiful. Really nice, this Tuff violet gray. It has some interesting texture also. Let's see how it dries. And in the meantime, the Caput Mortuum is drying very nicely. Have lovely texture. Now let's continue with the Midnight Blue. Wow, that's a very rich and deep transparent blue. Really beautiful. I love the texture of it, to be honest. I don't know if it's granulating, we'll see when it dries. But it's a very nice type of blue. So this is evergreen. It's a nice type of green. It reminds me a bit of a mix between chrome oxide and maybe green earth. It's a toned down, natural green. They have lovely, lovely greens in their catalog. So let's start with the Midnight Blue here. I'll swatch the mineral blue beside it, just reminding you that it's not possible to buy the mineral blue anymore. They have discontinued it due to the pigment being a bit unstable, but I wanted to swatch them side by side. So if you already own mineral blue, you may not need to get Midnight Blue in case you are curious about it. It all depends also on how you use these watercolors. If you're using them for sketchbook work, you might not be necessarily worried about light fastness, so it's fine to keep using a pigment that is not as light fast. This is only important if you plan on putting your art on the walls or selling it, but otherwise it's fine to use on sketchbooks. So as you can see here, they are different, I would say. The Midnight Blue is deeper. Sorry, I hope I was not shaking too much. I was getting excited here doing my swatching, and I felt my desk was a bit wobbly. So yeah, I feel like they're not exactly the same. The mineral blue is a bit greener. This is a bit darker, the midnight blue. And they seem to have similar textures, but you'll see it better when it dries. Now I'll go to the evergreen, and I'm swatching now the wagon green. These are quite different as well. Wagon green is more brownish. And even though both are natural greens that can be used straight as they are without even needing to mix, I have to say I like wagon green better, because I really like this type of olivey, brownish type of greens. Even though they have other greens on this family also in their catalog that are not gonna be discontinued. So we have like prickly pear, we have solstice fern, there's also rhubarb, meadow green. They're kind of a bit of this brownish ochre olive type of greens. But yeah, it's a pity they're discontinuing wagon green. I'm sure they have a good reason for it. And as it's drying, the mineral green is showing some interesting textures here, so that's very curious. Now I think I'm gonna swatch just here beside the original Tuff, and we'll see how it compares to the other Tuff colors. I always liked this color, this Tuff. I believe it's a mineral color that comes from volcanic soil, and it's very, very nice. It's one of my favorites. So when I saw they had a new Tuff collection, I was really curious to see the other tones. I would say this one is quite similar to the Tuff Crimson. It's ever so slightly different, but I'm waiting for it to dry so we can see better. Now I'm gonna swatch the Cherry Blossom. I think that this is a bit cooler compared to the Rose Marrakesh. Yeah, definitely. This is more lilac type of color. Now that I put on paper, I can definitely see they're very distinct colors. So here we have all of the 6 colors I got swatched. I'm gonna take a quick break and wait for this to dry, and I'm gonna also name the other ones I swatched beside them to compare, and I'll show you the close-up as usual. So I'll see you here back soon. So I'm back. My swatches are almost dry. I have a tiny little bit of wet paint over here, but I think it's dry enough that I can show you the comparison and all of the beautiful colors that I've swatched. So you have here Rose Marrakesh, Tuff Crimson, Caput Morton, Tuff Violet Grey. Then you have Midnight Blue together with Mineral Blue, that was the previous blue available in the catalog. Then we have Evergreen, a new green to replace Wagon Green. And I also swatched here beside Tuff and Cherry Blossom. So as you can see, I would say they are different. The Tuff Crimson, Tuff Violet Grey and Tuff. This Crimson Tuff is slightly more reddish than the original Tuff. I don't know if you can see it well on camera. I can see it in person, but I'm not sure if it's different enough to justify you having one over another. I would say if I have to choose, I prefer the original Tuff because it has a bigger type of granulation texture, and the color is more my personal taste. I think that there are a lot of earth tones with this type of reddish brown color, but this I find it a bit more unique. I love the Tuff Violet Grey. I think this is also a very unique color, very interesting, that you can use for rocks. You can use maybe together with other colors to mute them down. I really like this particular Tuff here, and I absolutely love the Caput Mortuum. As you can see, there's a lot of granulation. You have also some dark particles that show through when you add a little bit of water, so I love this addition. And the Rose Marrakesh is also very nice. It's not that similar to Cherry Blossom. When I started swatching, I wondered, but I hope you can see it here. The Cherry Blossom is a bit cooler. It's almost leaning more towards purplish tones, even though if you look here, it dried a bit funny in this spot here. There was some excess water. It has some undertones that remind of the Rose Marrakesh, but on top you have some kind of purplish color that makes it a bit different from the Rose Marrakesh. This is warmer. And I found also that the Rose Marrakesh look a bit less opaque than Cherry Blossom, which I prefer actually. I'm not too much into opaque colors, so I really like this new addition. The greens and the blues. So depends on what you like. I think that the blues, now that they are dry, they are quite comparable. The tone is really similar. When I was swatching, this looked way lighter than this one, but as it dried, they are very comparable. The tone is, they got really a different, this is a completely different recipe, the Midnight Blue and the Mineral Blue. And kudos to them to have gotten a very similar color. I would say they look the same almost. What I see different on them is the type of granulation and texture. So this one has a very fine granulation, and I think it has to do also with the presence of pigments like PBK 11, and this one has a more irregular type of granulation, a bit more expanding, some similar to this color over here, you see. So it's almost like comparing this to this, you know. This has some texture, maybe some slight granulation, but it's very fine. This is a bit more pronounced, and that's what I see in these two blues here. So if I had to choose, I like more the bigger granulation of the Mineral Blue, which now we cannot choose because this color is not available anymore. But if it's about tone, I think this is perfect replacement for it. Now for the greens, they are quite different. I find Wagon Green is way more towards olive green, brownish green, while this one I found it quite similar to the Chrome Green. I'm putting them side by side here. This is Chrome Green and this is Evergreen. So I would say if you already own Chrome Green, they are practically identical. I don't see the need for having the two of these greens, you know. You have a lot of choice, mostly in greens, in grays and earth tones. It's hours and hours of fun to be going through their catalog and choosing your favorites. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful to you to know about the new colors. Let me know in the comments what are your favorite deep light watercolors, if you have tried them or if you want to try. Which ones would you try first? I'm very curious to know, and I hope to see you here soon. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Bye!